How's he happy?
Good ones. Definitely flight. There's no point being a superhero if you can't fly. I mean, you gotta be a team and you gotta have some guy come along and pick you up and carry you to the crime scene. That sucks. That's no superhero at all. You have to be able to fly.
Parkour found its footing in Leeds, a sleepy little French town outside Paris. Living on the edge of the urban and rural environment, David Bell and his friends played at being superhuman rescuers. When they started to take their childhood games seriously, the outline of what would become a global movement by 2001 began to take form.
What is parkour? Parkour is the most efficient movement from point A to point B. It's a discipline. Behind it, people find a philosophy as well. Free running is more creative and expressive. You throw some flair into your movements. So it may not be the most efficient method, but hell, it looks cool. Or it's challenging or it's fun. I think a lot of people often choose one or the other, but they are such closely aligned disciplines, you know, they're almost in some ways the same. It's all human movement. It's all about challenging yourself and becoming more capable.
Combining athletics, gymnastics, climbing and martial arts helped parkour to express David's brand of freedom. The freedom of being alive. The freedom to move. Despite its youth, parkour is nothing new. Natives have been doing it for centuries. The influence of George Herbert's natural method was introduced by David's father, who came across it in the army. Focusing on the strength and agility of Indigenous people around the world, the natural method instills the same attributes into parkour.
I think it's good to get away, to come out here and get in touch with nature. Parkour is about natural movement. I think nature environment training is probably all too often neglected, and it needs to happen more. It's very different because there's nothing here that's symmetrical. You know, nothing here is designed. It is just what we call it, it's natural. You won't have a fence that's equal and this length that's got a 90-degree edge that you know exactly how to engage because you've done it so many times and you understand. Things are different and you really have to use a whole lot more brain power and really engage with the environment to understand how to move in it. A rock may be unstable. Some people take things for granted, you know, and you should never take things for granted. People have adapted more to the city than they have to nature. That's because of the way we live today, civilization. But in one respect, you know, with technology and you know, economies of scale and all that sort of stuff, things have progressed, but I guess as capable creatures in general, we've degressed as time goes on. So that's one reason why it's very important to get back to the roots, you know. People forget how to move.
strong philosophy pulses at the heart of this discipline. The most important element is the harmony between you and the obstacle, making for elegant movement.
Philosophy is to be strong, to be useful, to help others, and to always increase your capability. And also there's a lot of wisdom and sort of personal discipline behind it as well.
I don't know, I find not to push yourself, but you can kind of feel where you're going. Yeah, so you get used to it and you get to know where your boundaries are. If you hurt yourself doing it this way, so you don't do it that way, you do it another way.
The core philosophy of parkour, as far as David Bell is concerned, is essentially to be reliant on yourself, to be able to rely on yourself to accomplish what you need to. You know, his examples typically include things, his father was a firefighter, I believe, include things like being able to do that job and be useful to yourself and be useful to other people. And to some extent, it's nice to see the kids and the crew really having fun and also being able to improve themselves, to get over these mental blocks and over these things you normally wouldn't ever do, and become stronger and freer, essentially. That's really what I get out of this, is that everybody who participates becomes stronger themselves.
Through the philosophy of parkour, David was released from all obstacles, constraints and fears, giving him the freedom to go wherever he chose. David's hero, his father, embedded the roots that grew the philosophy he came to live by. He spoke of limitlessness. You can do what you want if you train seriously, have good discipline, have time, have motivation, have determination. With dedication, you can realize your dreams.